We take a live look. This is out of Mentor, and it's snowing over in Lake County. Boy, I live pretty close to there, and I can tell you that even when I came in a few hours ago, it was also snowing at that point. And we're starting to see, roads really looking at accumulation, and this is going to be one of those days where it's hard to keep up for crews. I believe this is around 306.
Yeah, 306 and Route 2.
Yeah, and so a very heavily traveled area, as you know, Danielle, and we've got you covered, is the moral of the story. Some of you might be waking up with maybe not as much snow as you in your head thought, but if you remember yesterday, we had talked about this first batch, this first wave.
2 waves.
And then, yeah, so it's starting to intensify already. So we're going to get to that with Matt, but first we're going to kind of take you through what's going on right now. And what we're looking at is a few things here as we move forward. So this morning snow, pretty manageable at this point, but again, and that's not to say that, crews aren't going to be working, but with snowfall rates expected to be an inch an hour at times as we head into the day, that's almost impossible to keep up with. Temperatures will continue to fall, and again, we're kind of in that second wave mode. And here at 4:45, as we get a look at radar, some of you are seeing some breaks a little further inland as expected. We do have that mix where we're seeing some sleet and wet snow and even potentially a little freezing rain mixing in there, and predominantly snow everywhere else. And we're seeing the heaviest snow right now as we look at our west and east suburbs. So here's a look in parts of Lorain County where we have snow in Elyria and through Lorain and Avon Lake and Avon, and then through Cuyahoga County we're seeing it. Into Brunswick, as I mentioned earlier, we're seeing snow, and it's pretty steady. So these are all areas where, it's just going to be tricky travel throughout the morning. I say this all the time because, we tend to love to focus on numbers, right? But the reality is, especially when you're talking about a morning commute, an evening commute, a busy time of day, even an inch of snow is really going to be a headache in your travel. So that is the whole thing about this. And I know a lot of you have to get out and go to work, say in Akron or in Canton, where we're getting that little bit of a low right now. The reality about all of today and even tonight and tomorrow is if you do have to travel, allowing plenty of time. It is blustery too, so we will have blowing snow and reduced visibility because of that. We're also going to be dealing with cold temperatures and wind chills. So we're in the 20s, but it feels like it's in the teens in most spots right now. Wind chills in Akron, in Canton, in Elyria, in Mansfield for that matter, all in the teens. Same thing for Ashtabula at 19 degrees. So you add that to the snow coming down and to the heavier snow that's already starting to pick up in many spots. And there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of school closings and delays. We've been focusing on that. If you want the complete list, WKYC.com, because it's quite long. But you can also always make a point of staring at that television as you're sipping your coffee, hopefully in a cozy manner. Maybe a lot of you already know you don't have school and you see one of your friends' schools close. So snow ramping up is really the moral of the story. Temperatures in the 20s, and you might be a little curious when you look at these totals that we're still expecting, and notice in our 8 to 11 range here through Cuyahoga County, Lorain, Lake, where we were just showing you those live pictures, Geauga County, areas up to 13 inches. So that's impressive, and it might have you scratching your head a little bit since you don't have that much yet. Well, Matt's going to explain why we're expecting so much more today.
Yeah, for sure, Holly. Things really going to ramp up today. I think a lot of people saying, hey, why is school closed? We have an inch or two of snow on the ground. Well, it's the fact that things are going to deteriorate today and pretty quickly as well. As we look at the big picture of the storm system, we have winter storm warnings that stretch from here all the way back into Texas. They're still ongoing in Texas, so that tells you this storm hasn't even arrived yet. Again, this is phase 2 of this storm, and it is just so impressive. I have never seen a storm of this expansive nature that stretches from Maine all the way down towards Texas with the amount of moisture coming in, the cold air coming in. It really is the perfect recipe for a long duration snowfall. And boy, we're going to get into that. Look at this. The snow really starting to fill in western Ohio now. We've got to get all the way through that snow back in Oklahoma. It's going to take all day for this to clear. And again, this is intensifying as it moves in. So Holly mentioned where the heavier snow was falling this morning And you can see here on the last couple radar frames, we're starting to fill in some heavier snow back towards the Shelby, Mansfield, Belleville, over towards the Ashland area. That will overspread northeast Ohio as we get into that morning rush hour. All right, snowfall rates by hour. It's probably going to be heaviest here over the next couple hours and then hold all the way through about 5 o'clock. It'll be on and off, moderate to heavy at times, may go light for a period, but the bulk of the snow will be coming again over the next couple hours. We could see some snowfall rates in this range that are approaching an inch, maybe an inch and a half an hour at times. So that's how we get our totals that Holly was showing earlier. National Design Barn hour-by-hour forecast. You can see it on the map form here. Temps in the 20s. So our temps are going to continue to tumble today. All that rain, all that slush that we have as a base for all this is going to continue to harden up and freeze, and everything going to be block solid later on today as that snow continues to come down heavily. The icing we had down towards Austin, again, it's been all rain and freezing rain down in the Canton area, Dover, New Philly, Carrollton. That will eventually change over to some snow later today, but I think we'll have a mix of some sleet, freezing rain, and snow as we go throughout the afternoon until that finally changes over. As we head on into tonight, the bulk of the storm system will finally head on out. We'll have some lingering strips of snow showers across the area. The big story after tonight is that it gets bone-chilling cold around here. We'll drop into the teens temperature-wise. Tomorrow, we barely recover. We'll likely hold in the teens for highs tomorrow with scattered snow remaining down towards the south. And then tomorrow night going to be the really cold night. Will likely go below zero in many locations. So again, anything that was liquid is no longer going to be liquid for quite some time now. I want to show you a model. Again, Holly showed our numbers. This is one of the models that just came out. And this is actually updated every single hour. So you can see that strip of snow that we're expecting today, maybe up to a foot. Holly mentioned up to 13 inches in spots. That's going to come in a hurry, folks. This is very reminiscent of that MLK storm that we got that much snow in a hurry. And you notice the wind is going to be howling at least through today. So blowing and drifting snow will be a problem as that wind continues to blow around that fluffier snow. We stay cold and on the frigid side all the way through the weekend. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. Cold tomorrow. We've got some flurries with another system on Saturday, and then we quiet down. Temps pretty seasonable in the 20s and 30s next week. Good time for some cleaning up. Danielle.
All righty. Thank you, Matt. And of course, we are helping you through this, but we want your help as well. As the storm begins to continue to move into your neighborhoods, make sure you send us your pictures and video. Of course, only if it is safe to do so. We want you to stay safe. You can send them by using the WKYC app or texting them to 216-344-3300, and you just might see your photo or video on the air.